From the academy facing lawsuits and making parents sign NDAs, to the children losing tons of opportunities because of Yeezy's anti-Semitic comments, there are many reasons why Kanye West's university is ruining lives. But before we get into the details, we've got to shed some light on the shady private school's backstory. Now, everybody knows Kanye West for his creative genius and the cultural impact he's managed to create through his music. Combined with the launch of his insanely popular and expensive fashion brand, Yeezy, it felt like the musician-turned-designer's ambitions were finally complete. But boy, were we wrong, because his latest venture might be the most shocking yet. You see, back in 2022, Ye made a move to the education industry by establishing the Donda Academy, a Christian prep school named after his mother. Why? Well, the school's mission, according to its website, is to prepare students to become the next generation of leaders. Kanye would definitely know a thing or two about that, considering his crazy cult following was ready to send their kids to this mysterious academy. The academy managed to enroll 100 students after its announcement. But did you know that the parents had to sign NDAs before that? Yikes! Though for Ye it's nothing new. The superstar makes his Sunday service guests sign them too. But when it comes to the future of children, big red flag. Now the website also states that kids start their day with full school worship before heading on to core subjects like math, science, and language arts. Not only that, they're also made to learn choir, film, art, and for some reason, parkour. Clearly, Kanye's making sure the school reflects his Christian values and his fashion opinions too, because the classy all-black uniforms were initially provided by Balenciaga. But this was before the fashion company cut ties with the rapper for his rampage of anti-Semitic comments. It's kinda two-faced, don't you think? Also, it's probably a good time to mention that Ye's own kids don't attend his academy. His recent behavior has been the topic of major controversy and has caused the musician's reputation and net worth a lot of damage, not to mention his divorce. So it's a mystery why anyone would want to leave the fate of their kids in his hands. And it's not getting any easier for Kanye either, as a recent lawsuit against his academy brought some shocking details to light. Teachers, Sha'Carri Byers and Cecilia Haley, downright caused a media earthquake when they sued Ye earlier in 2023. The women, who were the only black teachers at Donda Academy, claimed that they were only fighting against their wrongful termination. But things got ugly when the lawsuit exposed some chilling stuff about the gospel school. Apparently, Haley and Byers faced some serious racism during their time there, along with their wages being blocked and lesser pay compared to other teachers. Now, people aren't sure what to make of this, considering Kanye's legacy of uplifting black Americans through his art. The news that he would let this slide is, well, heartbreaking. And what's worse, when the teachers took their concern to the academy's principal, Moira Love, they were called aggressive and warned against taking legal action. I mean, what else can you expect from a school that needs NDAs? Miss Haley, who has been in the sector for a good 25 years and served as a dean for 2 colleges, has a pretty solid reputation as an education professional. So when she reported massive issues with the institution, it was a good bet to believe her. And it came out that the school was actually in violation of California state regulations by not having a proper learning plan or additional educational services. And those things are pretty important to raise future leaders, if you ask me. Plus, the academy doesn't have accreditation and was still deep in the search for teachers willing to work when the school year was announced to begin. This led to the enrollment of many instructors who were extremely unqualified to be dealing with kids. Best example? The principal herself, Brianne Campbell, who was stretched thin filling out the positions of principal, executive director, and head of the choir, has never actually been a formal educator. Her qualifying experience for Donda Academy? The singing tutoring business she runs from her apartment. Now hear me out, we're all about supporting small businesses here. But that's like telling me my amateur flute skills could make me president. Though Haley and Byers weren't the only staff who called it quits with Ye's passion project. As it turns out, the academy had already started going off the rails last year with shutdown rumors and protests from its own instructors. All credits to Kanye's social media drama, of course. Now, unless you live under a rock, Kanye became a spokesperson for anti-Semitism in 2022, when he posted a slew of racist and anti-Semitic comments on Twitter. This included claims of Jewish people conspiring against him, and Planned Parenthood committing black genocide. And since then, the world has quietly been watching the Donda star publicly fall from grace. and straight into a sea of criticism. The rapper later revealed that after the event, he lost around $2 billion in a day. Apparently, the backlash, or more accurately the cash drop, was enough for Ye to return to his senses and scrub his posts. The damage, though, was done, and Donda Academy naturally took a hit. Several teachers quit in protest, causing the administration to roll out emails saying the academy would be closing forever, only for them to come back after a few hours and say that it would open again in 2023. Boy, talk about good PR. Now, if you're confused about it all, you're not alone, because the students' parents were too. They started realizing just what they'd gotten themselves into. But according to Haley and Byers' lawsuit, Kanye wasn't the only thing that was wrong with the project. You see, it contained claims of safety concerns, lack of sanitation, and several labor violations as well. During the lawsuit, an unusual choice of lunch meals made headlines. It turns out, students at the academy are only served one meal throughout the day. And get this, it's sushi! Now don't get me wrong, it's delicious for some, but you have to question its nutritional value, especially for poor kids who are singing in the choir and doing parkour for hours. Plus, they're made to eat their meals on the floor, not out of principle, but because the academy doesn't believe in tables or chairs. That's right, the lawsuit claimed that kids can only sit on the floor or stand up, with the teachers being allowed just a stool. And that's far from the oddest thing at the school. Kanye's superstition has made a name for itself, and is now clear in his school's questionable rules as well. I mean, the dude has banned puzzles and coloring sheets, and the students aren't allowed to wear colors. Like, what even? Now, these are obviously just bizarre rules, and you can argue that it's not breaking the law or anything, but turns out some of them are. Because the academy legally falls short of the Department of Education's requirements, as well as state regulations. Putting aside sitting and standing rules, if there's one thing you can't compromise on in your kids' school, it's their safety. But Ye's academy is a bit reckless, just like the rapper. Because Donda Academy did not require its teachers to have basic life support certification or mandatory reporting training, both of which are crucial to students' well-being. What's more, the lawsuit revealed improper janitorial facilities and medication supplies like EpiPens just lying around or missing, which could harm kids in a big way. And if you couldn't guess from Kanye's own peculiar attitude toward justice, the academy has a serious lack of disciplinary rules, like students assaulting other students without consequences. Now, all of this came as a big shock to everyone, especially the academy's own students and parents. In the aftermath of Kanye's downfall and the lawsuit against Donda, many parents stepped up to share their stories, and what it was like to have a dream schooling experience turn into a literal nightmare. The students most affected, though, were the ones part of Donda's elite sports facilities, because many of their families had moved halfway across the country just so their children could have the opportunity to enroll at Donda and be coached by Kanye's superstar friends. But after Kanye's anti-Semitic remarks, the academy's sports team was disqualified from national competitions, leaving their dreams in pieces. The Bailey family, involved with the academy through their son, shared that like other Donda Academy parents, they came to Simi Valley expecting better from the music legend. After sacrificing time, money, and reliable education systems, students wanted to stick to their decision of attending the gospel school. I mean, I would too if I was promised a successful future and a meeting with a celebrity I looked up to. But as time went on, you would be blind to miss the writing on the wall. After Kanye's reckless behavior and the sea of accusations against the academy, many students publicly accepted the harsh reality. They were simply victims of a celebrity experiment, one that took months of their precious growth years. So there you have it. From the children losing tons of opportunities because of Yeezy's anti-Semitic comments, to the university facing lawsuits and making parents sign NDAs. That was all on why Kanye West's university is ruining lives.